Hello, Lenny. Welcome to MetalKaoz and Chicago.
Hey, nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
How are things in Germany?
Um, it depends on what you're relating to, but the weather is getting better, it's getting warmer, and we're ready to rock.
Absolutely. Okay, let's start right away. So just by looking at the release dates, I can see that Sound and Fury is being released almost 5 years since Trapped in Chaos. So what did it take this long, at least compared to the previous Dashboard albums?
Yeah, it's been quite a special time. I mean, probably for everybody. In the years 2020 and 21.
Mm-hmm.
And Dust Bowl is a band we started as young kids, really young. And we started this band being 13, living together, spending all time together, and we were touring and playing and making music all time. And when the pandemic hit in 2020, it was a good time to take a deep breath, take a step back, see where things were going, and see if we still are on the right direction that we wanted to go. Because there was a time for us where we had to think, is this something we want to do for the rest of our lives? Is this something we want to do for the next 10, 15 years? And
Playing
the
in a band, you mean, or playing in Dashboard?
an individual question, playing in Dust Bowl together as this band, doing this what we do, staying where we are, staying together in Germany and doing this. It's just, it was a good time to think about all that stuff. And so we took this time to think about things, and by time everybody started to write songs, and by time we felt we came back together naturally.
Okay.
And this was like the sign, all right, this is the right thing to do, this is the right way to do. And then we were on a point, we didn't have a label, we didn't have a booking agency, we didn't have budget to record, so I recorded and produced the album by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the time, I took the time, and then we had to look for a label, and all that stuff led to this release date in 2024. So it's really, I'm really happy now that it finally comes out in at the end of this month, and then we're
So
ready to.
you had the album ready before signing with AFM?
Yeah, we had. Yeah, we had.
So that
Yeah.
means that you didn't have any financial support?
Oh no, we did it all by ourselves.
Oh
We
boy.
ask grandmother, we ask we ask friends, that's how we do it, playing in a rock and roll band.
We are laughing, but man, that can be hard, right? It's not an easy thing to put together and start working on an album, recording, producing on your own. It cannot be
No, but
easy.
no, it's not easy. Of course, it's not easy. But I feel like making a rock and roll album shouldn't be easy. It shouldn't be comfortable, because then it's not. Where's the point? So I love challenges, and we love the DIY kind of attitude. Doing things by yourself, and you really have to believe in what you do to keep on like going, even though you have no money left on your bank account, even though you don't know how to pay the rent, you don't know how to pay the studio guy. So you really have to believe in what you do, and it's a good, it proves you that you really like, yes,
In
I'm
fewer
convinced I
words,
gotta do this.
in fewer
Oh,
words, it requires a lot of balls.
exactly,
A lot of
exactly.
confidence.
Yeah.
And this time around, because you are doing this on your own, you produce the entire album on your own, right?
Yeah, together with a friend, together with my colleague Ferdinand Dankesreiter, who's it's a funny story actually. It's been locked down, it's been a pandemic. I moved to a new place, a smaller place, and I was looking for a studio where I could just, spend some time being in the studio and doing vocal sessions and stuff. And I met my friend, now friend Ferdi, who had a studio right away, 5 minutes from my place. And
How convenient.
I met him, and I was like, you know, maybe I can spend some time here. And like 3 months later, we were recording the guitars for the Despot album already. It was kind of like that. It was really cool coincidence.
So did all the band members contribute to the songwriting? Especially, I'm asking especially because you have a new bassist, correct?
Yeah, that's true. But the whole creative process of the album were the three of us, because Tom, we called Tom when we had to record the bass, you know.
Okay.
We had everything ready, and I was like, okay, we need a bass player now. We really need one now, you know. And so we called Tom, and he had to, because he's an old friend, and he likes Dustbolt, and he likes it's we love him, you know. On a personal level, we just all love him, and so it was just, let's have some good time again, and make some music, and yeah, it's cool to have him on board now.
For the mixing and mastering, you work with Moritz Enders. Did I
Exactly.
say that correctly?
Yeah, that's a guy from Berlin, who we read an interview about, that he's doing really like huge bands in Germany that are more like doing pop and pop rock stuff. But
Okay.
but we found out that he was a metal kid, you know, and he's mixing everything on analog consoles and analog equipment, something that I really love. So I love analog soundboards and all that stuff. It sounds better, it sounds warmer. It's just what I think. And so I was reaching out to him because I thought he would say no anyway. And he was so happy that he was asked by a metal band, because he was like, dude, I want to do metal for so long, but somehow I ended up doing pop music all the time. So that was a cool coincidence again. So he did stuff in Berlin, all analog. Yeah.
But you recorded digitally, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm trying to see how recording in digital and then mastering this analog.
I mean, digital. We used some Logic, of course. We used a computer to record things. But we used real amplifiers. You know, we didn't use any plugins from the
Okay.
computer. We set up amplifiers and microphones, all the real stuff, of
Okay.
course. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So now let's talk about the music itself.
Mhm.
And initially, I hadn't read the entire press release to see that you are actually talking about this style change.
Mhm.
And I did this mistake, although it was a conscious one. I went online and tried to see what are the comments beneath the videos.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to although I do know the answer because I am old, and as we get older, things change.
Yeah.
And there is no way we can continue doing what we had been doing when we were 15 years old, 18
Exactly.
years old.
Yeah.
So in your case, in the band's case, in Dustbolt's case, how did this transition in the sound happen? That was a long question, I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. It happened naturally, you know, somehow. Because the thing for us was, you know, we did the album in this pandemic days, which was a great time to free yourselves from music business, from social media, from genres. It was a good time to free yourself and just be real and honest and write what you feel like you want to write right now.
Mm-hmm.
I was just open to any ideas, because you know, we're a bunch of guys. We love metal, we love hard rock, we love all the old stuff, Ronnie James Dio, Black Sabbath. Like, I listen to that every single day in my life. um but also, we are musicians. We jam a lot with other musicians. We go to jam sessions. We do all kinds of, you know, we just jam. We just have a
Yep.
good time playing music. So we never cared about restrictions and genres.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it was always about music. And I just was at a point where I was like, you know, why should we not allow other ideas to come into Dust Bowl? Because it felt like we had so cool ideas, but we were like, oh, you know, it's a cool idea, but we can't do it because. And suddenly it was like, no, there's no because. Of course we can. We're a rock and roll band, you know, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it's still us, because we wrote it, we recorded it. It was us that had no money doing it. It was us going to the studio every single day. You know, it's 100% us. And we're still the same kids we were when we did the first albums. somehow. But you know, I was 16 back then, and now it's 12 years later. I learned so much, and why should I not put that into music? Why should I just, you know, keep doing what I did when I was 16? Doesn't make any sense to me. So that was just a natural feeling. And I knew that, you know, this is somehow risky and some people might not like it, but you know, being in a rock band, is that really, should I care about people might not liking it? Then you know, then I should do something else,
Right.
probably.
I mean, whatever form of art, you are putting yourself out there.
Exactly.
Of course, some will like it, some will won't. However, in metal particularly, it's interesting to know that this music started from punk, right? And we started talking about freedom, getting away from stereotypes. And
Exactly.
then some decades later, we are actually applying those stereotypes on the bands that we love. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's
But
bizarre.
that's the point, you know, that's the point. And that's a really important point. And I feel the same. I feel the same, you know, because for me, of course, I could go there, put out a thrash metal album, put out, like, you know, put a thrash metal cover on artwork on top, do anything that's expected.
Hmm.
And that's okay. It's okay. But for me, it feels like it's dead art, you know. It's like that's not my fingerprint. That's not myself. I copy something that already existed in the 80s,
Correct.
where I wasn't even born. So why should I not start doing my version of it and see if I can open new ideas, you know, and maybe inspire other people to take thrash metal and put it into something new and make it something, you know, interesting for the next 50 years, because we can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. It gets boring.
Yeah, and we can talk for hours about this. How, at what point a band owns the music, or who owns the music? Nobody owns the music. The music is out there. It's a form of art. So we don't. I cannot say, hey, why are you writing this and not this? It's not.
Yeah.
I'm not
We're not a
ordering music.
we're not a business company, you know. I
Oh
mean,
boy.
we are at some level, but you know, that's the not so romantic part that
I know. I know.
but we don't owe anything um except being honest. I think that's the only thing that we really owe people when we say we are a metal slash punk slash rock and roll band, that we are honest and do express our feelings. That's what the music is about, you
Exactly.
know. And I mean, songs, it's all about songs, it's stories, it's songs. It's at this time you write those songs, 2 years later you write other songs, you know, but I want to keep continuing writing good songs, and that's all I care about.
And just to make it clear, I understand that we are both okay with bands that keep playing the same thing all over for decades and they fill huge arenas. But at the same time, if we accept that, then we should accept the bands who are changing maybe their style in every album. That's fine.
Exactly.
They can do whatever they want.
Judas
Um,
Priest did that, you know. Judas
yeah,
Priest, they have like really soft hard rock albums from the 70s, and then they made Painkiller in the 90s, you know? Still Judas Priest, you know, that's cool.
yeah. However, no one will say, "What did you do in Rocarola?" And what? No one would say that. Although when Painkiller was released, I do remember people complaining about Judas Priest sounding like Pantera. But hey, whoever listens that to this
And
interview will
people
say,
and people complained about the first about Kaoz from Hell from Pantera. People complained like, "What is this?" They got the worst reviews in Metal Hammer. They got like bad reviews, and a year later, everybody was like, "Oh, sorry, that was great, by the way."
"This is I don't know what's happening." But anyways, if we are supporting freedom, then we should support freedom in every aspect of our lives.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
However, you did mention the cover artwork, and to me, I think this is some sort of a statement. We are putting the band, a picture of the band, and now we are stating that we are trying something else, guys. Just to
Exactly.
let you know, right?
Exactly. That's
Okay.
absolutely the point. Um, it the picture on the cover wasn't intentional. It happened. It was a funny picture that just happened, you know, us fooling around when we were doing photos. And it's so different than any thrash metal cover artwork. and it looks more like a band from the 70s, like Bee Gees or Beatles or whatever. And this is kind of like funny. That was funny to us. We wanted to have something timeless and something that's just saying, it's about the band. It's about four musicians. That's it. It's four guys making music. And if you want to listen to it, put the needle on and go for it.
Love it. Put the needle. You didn't say press play or click.
No. No.
Love it, man. Um, uh, what about the lyrics? I will ask you for Eyewitness. That was I had some powerful lyrics there. So, what was the inspiration, or should I say, the trigger to write those lyrics?
Oh yeah, trigger is a good word. I was writing this song, and the challenge for me was I wanted to write a song that only contains one riff, like one riff, and the whole song is based on one riff. And so I was writing this song, and at that time, things in the world just got worse and worse and worse. And we had the war in Ukraine starting. We had this happening. We had this happening. At this time, we still had a lot of restrictions from the pandemic here in in Germany. And the thing is that me and my friends, like open-minded people, long-haired people, musicians, artists, freaks, if you like, we were holding together all the time, but we felt like this world is crushing down. We have such a beautiful time together by being the way we are, not judging anybody by anything. And then you look into the world and you see that history is going back, getting worse, getting more national, getting more right-wing, getting crazier and crazier. And you feel like this white old guys up there repeat what we should have learned already. They repeat what already has happened. And we felt that vibe here, and we felt that in Germany. And Germany went like really right wing in a short amount of time. And we still have problems with racism here. We still have problems with police violence here, especially in the south in Germany, in Bavaria. There's still so crazy stuff going on, and that makes you angry. And if you're angry, it's a good point to write a metal song.
Unfortunately, it's not only in Germany, man. I have a feeling that's the same thing happens everywhere.
Yeah. So that was the trigger for writing Eyewitness, just like a really naive, young, emotional point of view. Like, I'm sick of this. What is happening here? I'm witnessing this, and it makes me feel so goddamn angry.
Yeah. With that being said, you have changed also your singing style.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Still, it's okay. So what was the drive behind that? Because why I connect the lyrics with the vocals? Because, you want to sound angry, and therefore you expect to, I don't know, growl your way out of this. But you have clean vocals too. How did you approach this?
I was always a singer. I was always a guy who loved clean vocals, and I always sang clean vocals, but I just didn't do it in Dust Bowl. Like, I did it like in my free time. I did it in private. I did it with some other projects, but I didn't do it with Dust Bowl. And I was waiting and looking for the moment that I could include melodic vocals in Dust Bowl. And I just felt like the time was right. I had enough confidence to go for it and be like, okay, I'm not just a guitar player. I can also be a singer, like a serious singer, not just somebody who makes some noises, but somebody who comes up with cool melodies and choruses and hook lines and stuff. And that was my kind of like, here I am. That's my starting appearance as a singer in rock and metal future.
Right. And I think this question is connected also to the lyrics. You had a very cool video for the title track.
Yeah.
So first of all, was the band involved in the concept of the video?
Yeah. Especially Tom, the bass player, new guy, is really into music videos, and he put a lot of effort into that together with me and the video guys. And it's been a really, and if anything we do with Dust Bowl, every time we do something, it ends up being really on the edge of sanity. No matter what we do, it's always crazy. And we shot the video in a hotel, in an abandoned hotel from the 60s, huge place, and we spent there 3 days. We slept there, no electricity, no lights. It was like, it was a nightmare. It was a horror movie. You were in the horror movie in this building you shouldn't be. And that's where we stayed for 3 days, the whole band, and that's where we did the video shoot.
I will ask something that it will be extremely geeky, but bear with me. So in that video, there is a shot of you staring at the mirror, and I think you are smiling. And honestly, man, I don't know if you have watched that show, Twin Peaks.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, then. Spoiler alert, the season, the first season ends with something like that. And I said, has someone watched Twin Peaks and did that? So, okay, forget about that. I
didn't see it. Maybe the camera guy did.
Someone, I bet someone is a fan of that. Okay, yeah. moving on. What is happening in Blue Deep? What's going on there, man?
Who knows? Who knows? To be really honest, I love weird stuff like that. I've been when I was a young kid and I explored metal, Slipknot obviously was the first band that I explored metal with, because I'm mid-90s born. That's what you're getting in your hands when you're 13. And I always loved the bands like Slipknot and some of the I love noise bands and arty stuff too. And I love that those bands have some stuff on their albums that they wouldn't need to do, and that they are weird, but they make it somehow interesting and special. I just like stuff like that.
And I think that fits a little bit into this connection, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because you have some electronic sounds. I don't know if there are keyboards or if actually effects, but you have, I'm not sure if it's in every song, but you have some things spread around.
Yeah, but it's like really 95% of that is guitars. It's all or effect boards that we that we played around with. We were hitting on things. We were doing a lot of stupid stuff that ended up on the album actually, so it was a good time in the studio.
I have to ask, there is a limited edition of the album that comes with an anti-stress cube.
Yes.
So what's happening? Am I getting stressed by listening to the album? I'm joking.
Who knows? No, I mean, the idea was, the idea behind Sound and Fury was we ask ourselves, what is the real, the deepest intention for us to play metal music? And for me, metal music is the perfect tool to get my negative and dark and heavy emotions and aggressions under control somehow. I can put them somewhere and they're not hurting anybody. So I can kind of like be a relaxed guy in the other time. So Sound and Fury, and especially the album, really helped me and all the guys in the band to deal with some experiences and deal with some stuff that happens. And
maybe.
Yeah, and so for us, the album was always a kind of thing to get rid of your anger and get rid of your fury and deal with it. And that's why we came up with the idea of having the stress ball, in order to, you put it somewhere on your desk, and once you get angry, you think of, come on, don't hit the guy, don't take the ball, and think of metal.
The creation of the metal scene and going to shows was exactly that: blow some steam off.
Yeah.
And be with some people that you thought that you're thinking like, but anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a tour starting, I think, the end of February, correct? And you start in Germany, then you go through a little bit from the UK, and then you have the European festival season. Everything, not everything, everything that you have announced ends at August 11th. So how the rest of the year looks like?
Yeah, we're planning to come to the United States in September or October, actually.
Interesting.
So we gotta do this because we want to do this so hard. We're looking forward. It's just a matter of logistics and finding the right time. But we're planning to come to the US, and we're planning to do a European tour afterwards, like that goes even further. And yeah, we want to play as much as possible. We're working on a plan right now.
So
So
for the US part, are you gonna be part of a big package or just an opening an opening band for another band? Oof,
we have two festivals lined up. I'm not sure if I can already announce it. That's why I'm
Please don't if you
I'm
are
trying
not allowed. Please don't.
to make my way around it. We have two festivals, and we're just looking for gigs around the festivals.
Okay.
We play wherever.
Okay.
We just want to play.
Absolutely. And last question related to touring. Have you chosen the songs from the new album that you're gonna play? Because it can be a challenge right now to mix and match.
Yeah, but it's so fun. It's so cool. I can tell, really, it's so cool because you can put so much dynamic into the set. Where do you put disconnection if you play it? You better put it on a spot where you're like having, like, this is the party time now. This is the party time of the set. But the cool thing is, if you have a halftime song, if you have a melancholic song like Sound and Fury, and then you go into a aggressive and fast and heavy thrash song, then this one is even heavier and even more aggressive, and it levels each other up. It's so cool. So
it will take some effort from you guys to pick the right songs, right? To put them in the sequence.
Exactly, but that was like a cool thing to do, a fun challenge. We got a cool set list right now, some surprises, and yeah.
Well, hopefully Dust Bowl will stop in Chicago and we can see you guys on stage.
That would be sick. Yeah, I hope so too.
Lenny, thank you very much for your time. Have safe touring.
Thank you very much.
Great shows, and like I said, see you in Chicago live.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, man.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.